Hello guys, so in this video we are going to cover the CRUD operations on list view. So in order to perform all that operations, I have designed a layout for reference, that is contact list, where I can save the contact number along with the name, and we can display it in the list view, and we can edit it and update it. We can delete it as well. So let's get started. So first of all, I just removed this default code. Let's change this title to contacts list, and for theme we need this purple color. And so let's remove this home page and we will create our own home page. Delete this. Let's create a home page, home underscore page dot. So here on home page we need to maintain the state of these things because we are not using any database or file system in order to save the contacts, so we have to use the state management. So let's create a stateful widget for the same in order to hold the state. So give it a name, a home page. Okay, just save it, and from this build let's quickly return a scaffold, and in this scaffold we need app bar, and the app bar should have some title. Let's give it title, that is a text widget, and it is contacts list, and just mention const here and save it. Let's go back and use that home page over here and save it, and let's go back to this emulator and see we got this thing. So just for reference we keep it here. So first of all, we don't need this debug banner, so let's go to this material app and use that debug show checked banner mode false. Save it. So it is hidden. Now what else we need? This contact list should be coming in the center. So let's go ahead and check for another property of app bar. Do we have any center tile? Yes. Let's make it true and save it. So you got it in the center. What we need to take input from user. So let's go to the body part of the scaffold and return here a column, because we need the elements column wise. So let's use a column here and define children's here. And what we need here, we need two text fields. So let's use text fields. The one is this. So let's add const, as we are not giving any dynamic content. Save it, and you can see one edit text over here. So I need some padding around it, so let's wrap this with the padding, and I'll just keep it 8. Okay, now we want to see some border like it is coming here. So let's go here and use some decoration. So we have input decoration, and inside which we need some border. For border we have outline input border, and we have border radius here. Border radius dot all, and here we can use radius dot circular and give it 10. I think that would be fine. Okay, here you go. So we got this, and to display this hint text we can use here hint under this decoration we have hint text, that is contact name. Save. And and you got this. Fine. So same way I will create one more text field, copy, paste, and this is for contact number. So save it. Okay, so we need some spacing here. Just before this I will use a const sized box of height 10 and just cut this comma. So since we are using const on the top, we don't need it here. So later on when we use some dynamic component, we can use that. So let's use some spacing after this as well, and that's fine. Now here we can mention the name, here we can mention the number. So in order to enter the number, the keyboard should be of number type. So what I will do now, we can use keyboard type here, keyboard type, that is text input type dot number. Yeah, here you go. So once you save this, you will be able to see the keyboard is changed to number. And one more thing we can add on over here, we can have max length. So that means I want maximum 10 digits we can enter over here. After that it will not work. So let's try with this. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and then if you try it, it will not work. Okay, that's fine for this. Now what we need after this, we need two buttons. So let's use some spacing here and use buttons. So we need two buttons in a single row. So for that we have to use row widget. Let's use row here and children, and under children we have elevated button whose on press we will decide what to do later on, and the child would be text where we can enter, that is save. Okay, now this would be const. Since we are using this on press, we cannot use everything as const. Let's cut this const from here, paste it here, paste it here, use it here, use it here, and use it here as well, and that's all. Let's save it and see how does it look. That's fine. So same way we need one more button. I just use comma here, paste it, and give it a name update, save it. Now we need it in the center and we need some spacing. So let's use main x alignment. Main x is alignment dot space evenly. So that's fine. Now next we need this list view. Okay, so in order to work with list view, we should have some data. So what we are maintaining here is name and contact number. So we need an array list which is holding name and contact number. So let's create a variable over here. So we would have a list of, so we need to maintain two things. Let's create a class for holding two values, that is text dot, and we will create class contact which would have two variables, that is name and number. Okay, or you can use it contact. And so we need a constructor for the same so that we can assign the values. So let's create a named constructor where we have required this dot name and required this dot contact. Save. So here we are now going to create the list of contact, and we will create an empty list. So how do you do so? List dot empty, and you have to use growable property with true value. So this means we will hold the contacts over here. Okay, so that's fine with this, and we can use the list view with this contacts. Okay, so let's go down here under this row and use the list view over here. Create the list view dot builder, because we are using the dynamic one. So here we need to use item builder. Let's assign the function which gonna return one row. So let's say I will create another function get row that gonna return me the widget. Okay, so that's all for this, and let's quickly add the property that is item count, which is we are getting from contacts dot length, and this get row we need to create over here. Just go here and create method, and return type we need to mention widget, and we need to return here a widget. So what we want to return a list tile, and here we need to return the title, which would be a text widget, and this would be a basically, let's go here and see the design. So first of all, in tile we need this and then this. So this would be the title part. So instead of using this title, we need to use one column over here, column, and then we can use children. The first one would be the data part and the second one would be the contact number. So both we are getting from here. Okay, so we need to pass here the data part, so we just need the index over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the index because it is inside the class, so it will be able to access the contacts variable, that is list of contacts. So here what I do is I just use contacts and then index dot name, and same way I will use here the contact number, so that is contact. So I just save this. Before that, let me resolve one error. The error is we need to pass the index over here. So let's quickly use index here, and done. Let's go back here, save this. Okay, so we got some problem here. Problem is we need to define. Okay, so it is not defining with the boundaries. So what we need to do here is we need to wrap this list view into expanded so that it should have some boundaries. So wrap with the widget expanded, save this and quickly restart this. Okay, so it worked. So what we can do in order to check that it is working, we can check here if basically your contacts dot is empty, then do what? Then simply display a text which is saying no contact yet. Otherwise, just display the list. So we just use some style to increase the size of the font, and we can use the size of the font. Let's give it 22, and since everything is constant, let's use const here and save it. Okay, so we don't have any contact yet, that's why it is coming. That's fine. Just before this I will add little spacing, save it. Okay, now once any contact is added, it should be displayed over there in this list view. Okay, so in order to get data entered by user, we need controllers. So let's create text editing controller for name controller is equal to text editing controller, and same way we need one more controller for contact, and we need to assign these to the respective text fields. Controller, that would be name controller. So since we are using this, we need to cut this const and use it with this. Same way we need to use the controller over here, and that is contact controller, and just cut this const and use it here. Save this, and now let's go to the save button and write the code here. So here, first of all, I will get the name that is coming from name controller dot text, and I will use trim over here to remove spacing. Same way I will use contact is equal to contact controller dot text dot trim, and I will check here if this name dot is not empty and contact dot is not empty. If both are not empty, then we can save it. Okay, so how do you save it? We just need to use that list contacts dot add. We have already created that contacts list on the top, that is empty. Now we will add the elements into it. So to add a value, we need contact, and we need to pass name and contact. Okay, but in order to maintain the state, we need to put it into set state. Okay, set state, and we need to do save. Let's try with a contact. Let's say Ramana and 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it will be done, and save it. So you can see you got one item here. Okay, we can clear this text fields as well. So how do you do so? For that we need to use name controller dot text is equal to this empty text, and contact controller dot text is equal to empty text, and this will look better. Let's save it and try with a new one. Let's say Eric, and some number is 44444. Save this, and you can see it is working fine. Now we need to little modify this list item. So just go here and wrap this list style. We have another widget with card that will make it better. Okay, so this is how it is looking like. Okay, now we need some here, the circle kind of thing, and the icons for delete and edit. Okay, so let's go back. So here under this list style we have this leading property. So here we can pass a widget. So for this circle we have circle avatar. So here you can pass the child. So child we have, let's say we need the text. The text is, so what we are doing, we are displaying the first letter of this name. So name we are getting from contacts and then index dot name and its first character, and save it and check it out. You got it. So here we have this two variations of color. So what we can do, we can add a condition here to change the color. So go to this circle avatar, and do we have any color for this? We have background color. So let's use this based on the index. If index mod 2 is equal to 0, that means we need this bluish and I think this deep purple color. So let's try colors dot deep purple. Yep, let's try with this. Otherwise we use colors dot purple, and we need to define foreground color as well, so that is white always, so we don't need any condition for the same. So let's say foreground color, that is colors dot white, and save this. Okay, so almost working, same kind of color, little variation. Let's try with deep any other purple accent and save it. Yep, I think that will fine. So you can change the colors as per your requirement. Let's keep it this, and if you want you can just bold this text as well. So go to the style of this and use text style, font weight to font weight dot bold, and since it is a const, so let's specify const. So I think that's fine. Now we're left with this trailing icons. So we have another property of this style, that is trailing. So trailing is again expecting a widget. So we need two widgets. So what we can do, we can use a row here because we need two entries. So let's use the children. So there would be a problem with the row. Let me go ahead and use first of all. So we need icon here, and the icon would have some icons dot. So we have edit icon. Do we have edit? Yep. And the second icon we need icons dot delete or bin. Okay, let's try to use this const here, and if you save it, we got a problem again. So what to do is actually this row is again unbounded. Let's wrap it with the widget and give it some width, sized box, and give it some width. Let's say 70. Save this and restart it. Okay, so we got this trailing here. Oops. So we have restarted. Let's do it again, Eric, and give it some mobile number. Save it. Second is, let's say Sonia, and give it some number and save it. Now it is working as per expected, but we have little modification, like the name should be bold. Let's go to this name part and give it a style, text style, and give it font weight, that is font weight dot bold, and let's use this const here and save it. So what we left is this part should be coming in the left side. So that means here we need to mention the cross axis alignment, that is cross axis alignment dot start, and just save it. Okay, so main axis alignment we are not using here because for column the main axis is top to bottom, but we need to align this left to right. So for that we have cross axis alignment. Okay, so design is almost ready. save functionality is working fine, and we need to apply delete functionality and this edit one. So let's quickly apply the delete one first. So in order to add some action on this, we can wrap it with a widget. Either you can use gesture detector, or we have ink well as well. So once you wrap this, we have on tap property where we can assign a function, and here you can delete. So we are facing error because we are marking it const. Let's delete this, and same way I will wrap this icon as well with widget, that is ink well, and use on tap here, and we will write the code here. So this icon is a constant, so add const here, and same way add const here as well. And for delete, we can quickly write the code here, call set state here, and we will say contacts dot remove add, because we are already getting the index, so we will remove a particular add. Let's save it and check it out whether it works or not. So let's delete this Eric and Sonia. It is working fine. So now we left with only update functionality. Let me add Eric and the number something. Save it. Let's say Tina and some number. Save it. And let's add one more, Meena, and save this. So what we want, when I tap on this, it should edit this. So that means it should display the same values over here in this text field, so that I can modify and update. Okay, so what we can do, so we can just assign these values to this text field. So for that we have name controller dot text, that is coming from contacts index dot name. Same way you can try with contact, and here we will be using contact controller. Save this, and let's try to tap on this, and you got these values over here. So you can modify this, and once you tap on update button, so we can do what? On update, this update button, let's search for update, and here we need to write the code of update. So same way as we are doing here in this save, we will just use these two things, that is we need to get values. So let's try with the condition, the same condition like we are doing over here, we can use it over here and paste it here. So here we need to close the if, and instead of using add here, we will use update. So how do you update? So let's try with contacts, and then we need to go for a particular index. So you need to remember that index. So what we can do is we can create a variable to maintain selected index. Okay, so dot name, and you can assign that new name. Okay, and same way for contact, you can try with another way as well. So but I'm going with this. So let's quickly create this selected index as well. So I just define error here so that I can quickly come back, go here and create a field that is selected index. So let's give it int type, and initial value I will keep it -1, that is nothing selected. So once we tap on this find edit button, so we are doing what? We need to set the state of that selected index to the whatever index it is. Okay, so let's go to the error where we have created. So here we have this contacts. So we have this contact, and why we are facing error here? Contact is not reference. So let's remove this, maybe because of this. Okay, so we don't need this line since we are not adding it, we are updating it. This is the one way of updating. So once it is done, we can clear that and we can save it, and you can set the selected index back to -1 because nothing is done. So let's go ahead and try with this edit Tina, and you got Tina here, and spelling mistake, I just convert it into Tina. Let's update it, and you got your Tina has been updated. Okay, so I think that's all we have done. We have done insertion, delete, edit, and just try with this, let's see, and update it. So it is updated and everything is done. So that's all for this video. If you have any doubt, do comment in the comment section. Thank you.